Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Robert on Robert Live Tonight on NGSC Sports. And tonight I want to give you information about what's been going on here with Robert and Sonia Live, and how things have been going and what's been playing out the last week or so. I want to give you information also on how to win in the casino, because I know that a lot of you go and you play in the casino, but when you go to play, you may not have a system, you may not have a goal, you may not have an idea of how much money you really want to come out with when you come out, other than trying to hit a jackpot. So I want to give you information on that. And as I give you information on that tonight, there are going to be a series of about 4 or 5 different lessons that I will be giving you in order for you to be able to learn. Hopefully you will do what's necessary so that when you go into the casino, you don't walk out a loser. I mean, who really wants to be a loser? I don't know of anybody that really wants to be a loser. So I'm going to give you some free lessons on how to become a winner when you go into the casino. This is Robert on Robert Live Tonight. Is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venue. Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? And when I talk about Arena Eats and I talk about how do you place your order, what I'm talking about is when you go to a basketball game, to a football game, hockey game, baseball game, batter up. What I'm talking about is that if you think there's about to be something interesting happen while you're sitting there in your entertainment venue, watching live, and you want something to eat, but you don't want to leave your seat because you're about to experience something that's only going to happen at that moment, then don't get up out of your seat. Dial up Arena Eats so that you can get your food and not have to leave your seat. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, David, how are you doing, buddy? So that's what I'm talking about. ArenaEats.app. Go and check them out, because next time you go and you watch, you may want to get something to eat. So tonight, I'm not going to spend a lot of time of it, but I do want to clear up some bad information, some misinformation, and possibly some lies. I said possibly some lies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you about Robert and Sonia Live. I'm going to tell you where we came from and where we are today. Okay, I'm going to give you that information. If you have any questions, I will answer those questions privately, because I'm going to give you information here, and there's no need to cause any big ruckus. What I'm here to do is to give you information on a problem that has developed, and I want you to know the story that is the true story. Okay, like Paul Harvey used to say, and now the rest of the story. So I want to give you the information so that you understand exactly what's going on, and then we'll move on from there. Well, what's happened is that over the last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, I started doing a little podcast where I was showing people that I was playing Baccarat and winning. And that's where it all started. I came on and I went live to see what going live was all about. And I went live and some people popped up just like that. I didn't know anybody was going to pop up and see it, but they did. And I had about 10 people that popped up and saw me on the first live that I ever had. And it progressed, and it went from there on over to now I'm not just showing them what's going on in Las Vegas when I'm in Vegas playing or at a casino and playing. It developed into a podcast where I was teaching people how to win Facebook, how to win on roulette and how to win on Baccarat. And I was teaching people week after week after week. And a few people took hold of it, but most of the people didn't. And the couple of people that took hold of it, they now know how to win playing the game of Baccarat, and they do. And so I went from there, and then I developed another show called EI1. EI1 is Elementary Investing 1, because I'm not a professional investor. I don't have a degree in investing or anything like that. Everything that I make money on has come from here and me learning how to do what I'm doing. Hey, Joe Linda, how are you doing? So it developed into not just me talking about Baccarat on my one show, and then EI1, where I talked about investing, AI, computers, future technology, different things that are coming up and different things that are happening. So I went from there, and then I got too busy with it. And so I started looking for a co-host. And as I started looking for a co-host, and I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so I'm on the Pittsburgh Steelers sites, I noticed SONIA, who was posting a lot of different Steelers information. I asked her, I said, hey, I'm looking for an assistant for my shows. Would you be interested? And she wound up saying yes, that she would be. And then later on, as it progressed, she got tired of me talking about Baccarat and gambling. And she said, hey, why don't we start talking about Pittsburgh Steelers? Okay, so I started talking about Pittsburgh Steelers. We started talking about Pittsburgh Steelers. And then we switched over from Pittsburgh Steelers, Robert and Sonia Live on Thursday nights. We moved it to Sunday night at 7 so we could do a pregame show of the late game. And then also we were doing pregame shows of the early games sometimes as well. And on Thursday nights, we turned that show into The Last Word, where we are doing all NFL information, or at least the AFC North. And it didn't take off as well as what the Pittsburgh Steelers show did, Robert and Sonia Live, because most of the Pittsburgh Steelers fans don't care about those other teams. They don't care. They just want to see the Steelers win, and that's it. So I understand. They just want to see the Steelers win, and that's it. So, I mean, that show went up and down, up and down, up and down. But we got most of the people in watching Robert and Sonia Live. So on Sunday night. So that's what we were doing. That's what we have been doing. And over time, I mean, things didn't develop as well as we wanted them to. But I'm a guy that doesn't quit. Okay, I was playing this guy. I don't quit. I was playing this guy when I was in the Air Force Reserves and we were out of town. This guy wanted to play ping pong. I said, yeah. I said, man, I can play. I said, I play. It's been a while, but I can play. I can get back into it. So we started playing. And he had me 2-1. He had me 4-2. He had me 6-3. He had me 8-4. I mean, every game I won, he won too. And I mean, we kept going and we got up to like 16-8. He said, Conley, he said, when you going to quit? I said, I'm not going to quit because I feel like I can come back and get you. He had me 20-10. He said, I'm done. I said, okay, but I'm not quitting. He said, I'm done. He said, you're not catching me. Okay, well, I'm not quitting. So I didn't quit. So I'm not quitting right now. I'm going to keep on going right now because I've got things moving, and it looks like everything that started right here. It looks like everything that started right here with this podcasting and with me coming on and showing people and telling people about me winning playing Baccarat. It looks like I'm going to be able to take money from, what's that? Peter over here on the Baccarat. No, not Peter. Double Cash Daily. It looks like I'm going to be able to take money from over here at Double Cash Daily and bring it over here and put it on Robert Live Tonight, where things are going to change and things are going to be different. And as things have progressed and Sonia and I have been doing things, I've asked for different things to happen. She's provided some of those things, but things are just different. And her life is very busy. She's had some personal things that's gone on, and it's just not what it should be when we come on here and we want to present a professional looking show so we can bring more people on and get more viewers. And so when you want to do that, and when you have ideas, and when you want to make those work, and if you have a little bit of money and you want to make things bigger and better, then you have to make changes. And that's what we're going through right now. Changes. This network, NGSC Sports, has over 1.5 million people that come onto the website every month. And they have a network of other podcasters just like me. And all of us have to present ourselves in a professional manner, because whatever I do here is going to affect all the other podcasters as the viewers come on and look at me. And they're going to say, hey, what's NGSC Sports doing? What are they giving us? We need to see something that looks like a real television show. And so in order for that to happen, we have to give you something that looks professional. We have to keep you entertained. We have to talk to you so that you can understand what it is that we're saying without you having to dissect it and determine what it was that he just said or she just said. You need to be able to understand as it's coming into you, and you need to be able to take it right now so that you can make a comment on it and I can talk like you said, Peter and Paul, right, David? That's what I'm talking about. See, you didn't even have to think about that because it's already here, and all you had to do is pull up your memory, and it's just like that. Okay, that's what is supposed to happen when you're watching television, unless I'm teaching you how to play Baccarat. And when I'm teaching you how to play Baccarat, now you have to think about it because I'm giving you instructions. And when I'm giving you these instructions, I'm giving you instructions so that you can learn how to win when you go into the casino. But as I'm giving you those instructions and you're learning, I want it to be in the form of that. Once you go into the casino, once you go in, you know what's going on and you follow the system and you win using the system. That's what I want to happen. And so as I'm giving you these instructions, these directions, these lessons, I want to give them to you so that you understand. And David, as you want to be a podcaster, you want to do a podcast, I need to give you information so that you know how to do what it is that you need to do so that, wait a minute. I almost went too far. I'm not going to give you instructions so that you can look like me. Okay. There's only one Double Cash Daily. Okay. But I want to give you instructions so that you will be able to have your own podcast going on. And if you're doing something that NGSC Sports is interested in, you might be able to join the network because they're looking for other podcasters as well. I'm not telling you there's any money in it. I'm going to be creating my own money here. But if you're doing well enough and if things are good enough, you can grow and grow and grow, because just like in Ocean's 13, just like in just like in Ocean's 11 with Danny and Terry Benedict, Danny Ocean and Terry Benedict, and Danny Ocean and his team of guys were robbing the Bellagio. And then he meets up with them in the hallway. He meets up with the owner, Terry Benedict, in the hallway. And he set him up for this. He set him up. And he's standing there in front of the camera. And he's talking to him. Danny is talking to him. Danny has set Terry up and he's talking to him. And he gets him to say that his money was more important than his girlfriend. And they end that conversation and they go away, right? And then Terry sees his girlfriend and he's like, so how are you doing, Tess? And Tess says, Terry, you of all people, you of all people, you know that in your casino, somebody is always watching. And what happened? Tess was up in the room watching on a closed circuit television, watching Terry say that his money was more important than her. That's over. Somebody is always watching and you don't know who it is. And so I can't come on here and cussing up a storm. I can't come on here and saying things that's making you think about what did he just say? I've got to be able to give you the information straight to you so that you understand, so you don't have to think about it and everything is good. That's what I need to give to you every time I come on here. That's what we were supposed to give to you every time we come on. We can't have what's called black space on the network. Black space is when there's nothing being said. That was a piece of black space because I wasn't saying a word. And in order for you to stay involved, in order for you to be entertained, I've got to give you information, or me and my co-host have got to give you information on a continual basis. Now, yes, I talk a lot. I talk a lot to give you the information. I talk a lot whenever I'm on. I talk a lot. I know I talk a lot. But that's what I've got to do in order to keep you here. Because if there's black space, you're going to get tired of looking at this face with nothing coming out. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. So now Sonia and I have come to a place where we're not going to be together on here anymore. I didn't separate us. It was her choice. I gave her an option. She wanted me to talk with her. I called and I called again. She sent me a message and said she had nothing to say to me. And so, okay, that's it. That's done. It's gone. And now the name of the show is no longer Robert and Sonia Live. It's Robert Live Tonight. And I'll be on Saturday morning. Okay. And I will be on maybe on Sunday evening as well. But I'm going to be coming on here and giving you information, and not just Pittsburgh Steelers information. Yes, I will give you Pittsburgh Steelers information, but I won't just give you only Pittsburgh Steelers information, because I want you, okay? I want you to increase your income if you want to increase your income. All right. I want you to be able to go into the casino and win money if that's what you choose to do. If you don't choose to do it, that's totally up to you. But I'm going to give you a way to go do it. Okay. Because I win 70% of the time. And lately, it's even more than that. Okay, and you don't have to start with a lot of money. You don't have to start. When I first started playing Baccarat, I didn't just walk into the casino and see this game and say, hey, I'm going to play this game. That's not the way it happened. The way it happened is I went with my dad and my siblings to a casino in southern Indiana. And they wanted to go play whatever they were going to play, slot machines or whatever. And I found the roulette table. And I was the only one on that roulette table. It was just me and the dealer, okay, most of the day. And I played for 8 hours. Okay. It was $5 minimum on the table and $1 chips. So I could scatter them out there on those numbers, 1 through 36 and 0 and 00. So I played 8 hours of roulette on $43. On $43 for 8 hours. And at that point, from my first visit to a casino and playing roulette, at that point, I said, hey, if I played this game for 8 hours, on $43, I can learn how to win money on this game because throughout the day I was winning. Let's see, change the show's name before you said anything to me. You changed it first. That doesn't mean that you were fired, Sonia, because that looks like that's where that message came from. I changed the name of the show. Okay, that doesn't mean anything. We can move on. That doesn't mean anything. And when I called you, if you wanted to talk, you should have answered me. You didn't answer the phone, you send me a message. So I played Baccarat. I played roulette 8 hours on $43. And at that point, I knew that I can learn how to win the game and win money. And so what I did is I played and I won and I played and I won. And every week I was going to the casino 3 or 4 times, driving 2 hours to get to the casino and 2 hours back just to go win $5, $15, $20. But I was learning. I was learning. So as I was learning, I was putting all of this together. I started right here, and then I went here, and then I went here, and then I went here. And then when I left Columbus and I moved down to Florida, my thoughts were, hey, I'm going to play roulette and make money every day. And I'm going to play. And when I got down to Florida and I started playing, I didn't have that much money to play on, but I was winning. And a dealer said, Robert, the way you play roulette, you need to go play Baccarat. And so I said, what's Baccarat? And he says, that game down at the end of this row. Go down there because the odds are better. And the way that you read these patterns, you can win playing Baccarat. So I went down and I checked the game out. And for 3 days, I didn't make a bet. I was learning what the game was all about for 3 days. And then after I learned what the game was all about, let me stop here for just a second. Sonia, I'm not going to be in a discussion with you here on the air. I'm not going to do that. If you want to talk, then we will be able to talk on the telephone when I'm finished. And I'm not going to have a texting conversation because there's information that's misinterpreted, misunderstood through text messages. If you want to have a conversation, then we can have a conversation after the show is over. So I'm not going to respond to anything else that you say here, okay? So when I was in Florida and I was playing and I watched for 3 days what was going on. And then I decided, okay, now I can sit down and play this game. It was $10 minimum. I didn't have that much money to play on. I had $10, $20, $30 or $40 or $50 to play with, right? And the bets were $10 minimum. I'm not used to betting $10 a hand, but that's what I had to bet with. That's what I had to play with. And so when I started playing, my first 14 games that I played, and this is what I'm going to teach you, the stuff that I learned and taught myself because I'm self-taught in the game. What I learned was how to win the game of Baccarat. And the first 14 games that I played, I lost once, I broke even twice, and I won 11 times. And from that point on, I've been playing Baccarat. That was in the year of 2001. In 2001. And my first year that I played the game, I didn't lose that year. I won that year. I came out a winner that year. But there were days that I sat at the Baccarat table playing and I wound up winning only $10 in 14 hours. That was grueling. Sitting in a casino at the same game for 14 hours and you come out winning only $10. But winning $10 was much, much better than losing 10 because now I've got a little bit more money to go back in the next day and play. So since then, I've never never had a losing year. Never. I've always won every year since I started playing. And during the virus, when the shutdown last year in March, when that came, it stopped what I had figured out and what I was going to do. Because before the shutdown, I found some people that wanted me to play for them. And I was winning money regularly and sending payments out to these people that I started playing for. And I'm going to be playing for more. I've just picked up 3 small customers, if you want to call them that, this week that I'm going to be playing for, to add to the list of the people that I'm already playing for. And today, I want to give you an opportunity, okay? When I give you this opportunity, it's going to look like it's not very much right now. But as it grows, it will be the biggest non-investment investment that you have ever had, okay? Unless you're a millionaire right now. And if you are a millionaire right now, this can still be the best non-investment investment that you've ever had. Because if you are a millionaire, you can attract people like you. If you attract people like you and you send them to me and I sell them a membership, it has the potential. It has the potential of paying you $16,000 every 8 weeks without you ever putting money into the franchise and the franchise type membership that you'll have. It has the potential of paying you $16,000 every 8 weeks. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Are you hearing what I'm saying? And if you wanted to do more than one virtual clubhouse is what you'll be getting. If you wanted to do more, if you wanted to do 2 or 3 or 4, if you've got 4, now you've got as much as $64,000 every 8 weeks. But if you are not a millionaire and you don't attract those type of people and you attract everyday people like me and you own one of these virtual clubhouses that's not going to cost you anything, if you own one and you run ads on Craigslist or wherever to find potential members and you send those members to me, you don't sell anything. You don't ever have to sell anything. You just find the people. You send me their name and their phone number or their contact information. And when I sell those people on a membership of $2,000 each, and if you send me 10 names and I sell 10 memberships at $2,000 each, that's $20,000 that I will be playing with. And every 8 weeks, when I double that $20,000, you get 10%. That means you'll get $2,000 in 8 weeks. And if those people that have memberships want to increase, instead of 2,000, they say, okay, now I've won 2, I'm going to have 4 in. And now each one of those people do. This is just hypothetical. Now there's 10 members in your virtual clubhouse at $4,000 each. That's $40,000. And I double that in 8 weeks. You get 10% of that, $4,000 every 8 weeks. And you didn't pay for the virtual clubhouse. Now here's what's happening. Let me tell you how this rises, how it goes up, okay? Because as I win money for the clubhouse, the records show that we are satisfying these members every 8 weeks. And as long as I do that, and it's not a big deal, because in reality, all I have to win for the members are 10% per week, 10% a week. That's one bet. That's all that has to be done in reality. Okay, sounds like a lot of money, but it's really not that big of a deal, because the chips that I play with, the money that I play with, and you saw my post from yesterday, the money, the chips that I play with, it doesn't matter how much money I'm playing with until I get really way up there. It doesn't matter, because I still only want to win 2 bets. Whether I'm playing with $100 or $10,000, I'm still going to be betting on the same 2 hands. So it doesn't matter. I'm going to give you this information. I'm giving you this information now. I want you to understand, because David Covey, how do I do this, and what is a clubhouse? How you do this, David, and I'm putting together the instructions. I've already got the website set up. Let's see here. Let me see if I can pull this up. Go take a look at that website, okay, David? But how it's done is that the minimum that you come in with, and you're not buying the clubhouse. The clubhouse is free for people that come in with a minimum of $50 for me to play for them. Now, when they come in at $50, then I put that money together. I pool it with other people's money, okay, so that I can put together $1,000 and play with that. I've got a special amount of money that you get in return for that. It's not the 10%. I've got a special amount that comes back to you, a return. Now, after you've come in with the 50, and I've got 2 people this week, I've only had 40 of these virtual clubhouses that I was giving away. Excuse me. And 14 of them are gone right now. 14 of them are gone. So I only have, 26 left. So once you have a virtual clubhouse and you run the ads, Craigslist or wherever you run the ads, and I will provide you the information that you post in the ads so that you don't say something wrong, okay? Because I don't want you to say something wrong. I will provide you with that information. Now, when the people respond, you're going to have a phone number and a name. You just send that to me. You don't say anything to them. You send it to me. And what I will do is I will communicate with these people. And as I communicate with them, I will sell them. And I will sell them on a membership, because there's no place else that I know of right now that's as safe as what I'm providing, that will pay double the outlay in 8 weeks. Nothing is safe. And the thing about it is, they can communicate with the person that's doing the work. All right. So I will play for your clubhouse. Your clubhouse can have as many as 40 members. So however many people you send to me, I will work on selling 40 memberships. And then when I play for those people, because their membership money becomes the money that I play with, when I play for them, and in 8 weeks, when their money is doubled and they get paid, you get paid. So if it winds up being that over the course of a year, your clubhouse membership grows to 40 members, because when people start receiving money, and this week, today, I've sent out, last week I sent out $2,000 payout, and this week I've sent out $1,500 in payments. Okay, so when these people get paid and you can have as many as 40 members. When they get paid, they're going to tell their friends and their family, hey, I've got something that's paying me. I think you should learn about it. And once they learn what it is and they see that this person's getting paid, they're going to want to have a membership as well. But there's only 40 of them for every virtual clubhouse. So as it grows and as they get a return on their membership, they're going to want to put more money in. Okay, so I put $2,000 in to this membership. In 8 weeks, I get $4,000 back. Let me take my 2,000 out. Now I've got nothing in the game. I've got no skins in the game. Let me put this 2,000 in that I got paid. So they put that 2,000 in for the next 8 weeks. And at the end of the 8 weeks, they get 4,000 back. Now they got $4,000 that they have gotten in return. And so now, okay, well, let me put all $4,000 back in because I don't have anything to lose. I've already got my money back. So they put 4,000 in. So now you've got 10 people at $4,000 at $40,000 in 8 weeks. Out of that $40,000, you get 10%. That's $4,000 in 8 weeks. That's $1,000 every 2 weeks, $500 a week, $100 a day. And how much did it cost you? Zero. $100 a day. What's that? $35,000 a year? And it didn't cost you anything to get in? Plus the money that's won off of the $50 that you wanted me to play with for you. I'm telling you right now, when I was telling you the other day, I said, I'm begging you. I'm not going to beg you anymore. I did it once. If you didn't come in then, I'm not begging you again. I'm telling you what's available. And once the other 26 clubhouses are gone, they're gone. And then it's going to cost you $20,000 to buy a clubhouse. Okay, that's what it's going to cost. Once they're gone, they're gone. This is Robert Live Tonight. Robert Live Tonight is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website, arenaeats.app, for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venue. Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? This is Robert Live Tonight as Double Cash Daily for Mansion Club, giving you information on how to win in the casino and how to win even if you don't go to the casino. This is Robert Live Tonight. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you. I've given you the basics of the clubhouse, the virtual clubhouse. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you one lesson on how to win at Baccarat. Okay, in case you live close to a casino and you've got $50 or $100 and you want to go play, I'm going to give you a lesson on how to win at Baccarat. So the game of Baccarat, I'm not going to tell you how the game is played. I'm going to tell you that there's a banker hand and a player hand. I'll tell you how it's played later. There's a banker hand and a player hand. All you have to do is guess which hand is going to win, the banker hand or the player hand. That's all. Either one or the other. That means it's a 50-50 chance. The only reason why it's not 100% 50-50 chance is because the banker has a very, very slight edge over the player's hand. Okay, the banker hand has a very, very slight edge, and it's less than 2%. So you make your bet on where you think it's going to win, the player hand or the banker hand. And what I do is I track the banker hand wins in red, in a red dot, and I track the player hand wins in a black dot. I'm just going to show you this, and then I'm going to quickly go through a simulated game, okay? So the player hands are represented in the black dots, and the banker hands represented in the red dots. All right? So I'm going to go through a simulated game here, and then I'm going to see if a pattern develops and help you out in learning how to win at Baccarat in the casino. Okay, so I'm going to simulate a game. First hand is player. I don't bet right off the bat. First hand is player, so I'm going to mark it in a black dot. The second hand is a banker, and I'm going to mark that in a red dot. And the third hand is a banker, and I'm going to mark that in a red dot. And the fourth hand is a banker, and it's marked in a red dot. So I keep track of it most of the time in columns of 4. The first 4 hands was first 4 hands was player, banker, banker, banker. Now, what's going to happen is that on this last row here, as it comes across, there's going to be a pattern that develops across there of red and black dots. Okay, there's going to be a pattern that develops across there in red and black dots. And as that pattern develops and we go across there, then I'm going to show you what the pattern looks like and show you where I'm going to make my bets at. Okay, so now the next column comes out. And as the next column comes out, it comes out banker, banker, player, player. All right, it comes out banker, banker, player, player. So far we have 2 columns of 4. The first column is player, banker, banker, banker. The next column is banker, banker, player, player. The next column comes out, and now I'm getting into a point where I am going to start believing that I will be able to make a bet. Okay, and the reason why I'm going to be able to make a bet is because as these numbers have come out, as these hands have come out, these numbers have come out as well, because I keep track of how the columns develop and where these numbers are going to happen. Now, here's what I'm going to show you. The first 2 columns, the first one is player, banker, banker, banker. Underneath the columns is a black hash mark. That's because the last 2 hands, let me see here. The last 2 hands, this is hard to do, were red and red, the same color. So I put a black hash mark down here to show that they were the same color. And then because there were 3 of one color, I put a 3 down here. And then the next column came out. The next column came out, and it was banker, banker, player, player. And because the colors were the same at the bottom, I put another black hash mark. So I got 2 black hash marks on the bottom of the rows. There's red, and then there's black. And the numbers, this is hard to do, really hard to do. There we go. The numbers were 3 because the first column was 3 of one color, and the second column was 2 of one color. So I put a 2 down there. So now we've got a 3 and a 2. The next column that comes out goes player, player, banker, player. So the bottom row is banker, player, player. Now this column, third column comes out player, player, banker, and before the last one came out, I was thinking it's going to be a player, because in order for it to go a 3, if you look at the bottom numbers, there's a 3 and a 2, and those numbers are different. So if that next number is going to be different than the previous number, which is a 2, if that next number is going to be a 3, it's going to have to go black or player, and that's where I would make a bet. And it went black, player, so it came out a 3. So I would have won that bet. In this simulation, I would have won that bet. And if I were playing with $100, my bet would have been $35. Okay, so I would have won that bet with $35 because that third column came out a 3. Okay, so I would have won $35. So I marked $35 in the box, and I put a red circle around it to know how much I bet and how much I did win. So I put a red circle around there. And look at the numbers at the bottom. 3, 2, 3. Now, the next column, because I have a 3, if the number is going to change, and if I'm going to believe that it's going to change, if it comes out, now I've already got a black dot down here because I was doing a simulation, but if that black dot was not there and 3 red dots came out, let me back up. If that black dot wasn't there and the number was going to change and the first 3 dots came out black, 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 I would assume or believe that it's going to be another black dot at the bottom, which will make that number a 4. So then the numbers would look like 3, 2, 3, 4. I could win that bet if it came out that way. And the bet that I would make would be a $70 bet because my first bet was 35. And in order to double cash daily, my next bet will be $70. And so when I win, I will win 70. And 70 and 70 is 140 minus the 35 that I originally started with. And when I win, I wind up with $140 minus the 35, and I wind up winning $105. I started with 100, I won 105, so I just double cash daily in 2 bets. That's how I win. That's how I won yesterday. I turned $800 into $1,600 in 2 bets in a total of 40 minutes time. I only made 2 bets. I sat there and I waited for the cards to come to me, and I turned 800 into 1,600. But I didn't just walk in there with 800. I had already built my way up. Okay. And actually, I could have been playing with more money yesterday, but I didn't do that. But I'm going to go and play with more money this weekend. When I go in this weekend and play, I'll be starting with $4,000. That means that a 30%, 33%, it's 35. My first bet needs to be $1,400. If I win the $1,400, my next bet is $2,800. And when I win the $2,800, that will wind up being $5,600 minus $1,400 that I started with will give me a $4,200 win in 2 bets. And it takes the same amount of time to play with $4,000 to double it as it does to play with $100 and double it. The reason why I'm going in to play with $4,000 is because I worked my way up over the last 6 weeks from $100. I doubled it. I've got 200. I doubled it. I've got 400. And I went up and down and up and down. I had gotten all the way up to 2,200, and then I lost 1,200. So then I'm back at 1,000. And I doubled it, and I doubled, and I doubled. Okay, so I worked my way back up. But I started with $100, and it's taken me 6 weeks. Okay, I started with 100, and it's taken me 6 weeks to get up to where I'm at. And so now I'm going to go in and play with 4,000 this weekend. And I'm going to look to double twice, only twice, unless the cards look really, really good. And if I win the first double, I leave, go take a break, do whatever I'm going to do, come back and play some more and look to win another double. Now, if I do that, and if I double twice in a day, and last Saturday, I doubled like 5 times in one day. If I do that and I double, I go from 4,000 to 8,000, and then that evening I go from 8 to 16, that's $12,000 won in a day. Okay, do you understand what I'm talking about right here? And then I go back in on Sunday to make one more double. Now I can't go, when I go back in on Sunday, I can't take 16 and double it up to 32. What I get, wait a minute. Yes, no, I can't. I can take it up to 31 because the max bet is 10,000. That means I can only win 15,000 in one double. Okay, I can only win 15,000 in one double. So if I double 3 times this weekend, I'll be up to $31,000, starting from $100. Now you say, Robert, that's like impossible. You're in a casino. Well, let me give you this bit of information. The casinos are built on math and science. They're not built on luck, because if they were built on luck, the floor would cave in, the roof would cave in. Okay, the electricity would go off. There'd be no water in the bathrooms if they were built on luck, because they would put everything together and say, hey, let's hope that this works. No, they're built on math and science. And the games are all about math and science. They're all about math and science. And the science is psyching you out, making you believe that it's luck and that you can walk in there and get lucky and take a jackpot out. That's the science. And the math is this person's going to walk in the door with $200 and they're going to walk out with zero and be happy. That's not what I look at. I look at walking in that door. When I walk in that door, it's a business. It's a business when I walk in that door. Because when I walk in that door, I'm walking into a business. And their business is to take my money. And my business is to take theirs. And when I sit down and play, and when I show you this system, their method to take my money is dependent upon a shuffle machine that's programmed, and the programs are aided by psychologists. And because that program is in the shuffle machine, they can't change the cards after they come out of the shuffle machine. But I'm a man, and I can change on the fly, and I can go against their shuffle machine because it's a set program. But mine is not a set program. Mine's a set system to go against their program. I have some specialty numbers that are right here. You didn't see them on the paper. And I take advantage of those specialty numbers that I have up here that apply to my program. And they help me to win. And they help me to double cash daily. So I can teach you that. And if you own a virtual clubhouse, I will play with that system to win money for your clubhouse so you can get a check every 8 weeks for doing nothing except for sending me prospects that I sell a membership to for your clubhouse. Now, here's what happens. Your clubhouse, as these club members, receive a return on their money, their gambling money. They know that it's gambling, but they're going to put it out there anyway because they want a good return on their money. And it's not against the law. It's not bad. It's just another way to make money. So when these people get paid and they tell other people about it, and these other people become members, the value of your clubhouse is going from zero that you paid for it all the way up to the possibility of being valued at $400,000. How is that, Robert? Because you have 10 members in there with $10,000. I'm sorry, you have as many as 40 members in there. If your clubhouse is full and you have 40 members in there, say in a year and a half, and each one of these members are in the game for $10,000 each, that's $400,000. That's the value of your clubhouse. And then you multiply the value of the clubhouse at $400,000 times 6. How much is that? $2.4 million. Why? Because this guy over here or this woman over here wants to buy your clubhouse, and it's a virtual clubhouse. Well, but you're getting this regular payment off of this clubhouse. You're getting regular payments off of the regular winnings every 8 weeks. It's just like a McDonald's sitting out on a corner. You're getting these regular payments just as McDonald's does. Only you don't have a brick and mortar building to maintain. You don't have employees to maintain. You don't have to buy uniforms for these people. They're not taking sick days off. Your clubhouse is now valued. And if you want to sell it, that's cash in your pocket. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's cash in your pocket. Do you remember the .com .com era where people were just buying a .com name, GM.com, and they sell it to General Motors for $40,000 because General Motors wanted GM.com? Do you remember when all of that was going on? What did they sell them? Virtual name. A virtual name. And I'm giving you a virtual clubhouse. There's only 26 left. But you have to come in with $50 minimum for me to play with. When you come in with $50, I give you a free virtual clubhouse. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. If you're interested, send me a message. I'm not going to have trouble filling up these virtual clubhouses, giving them away. I'm not going to have trouble. I'm going to tell you. It's not going to be a problem. But it's your opportunity. Take it or leave it. It's your opportunity. This is Double Cash Daily on NGSC Sports on the Robert Live Tonight show. And I've been giving you information on how to win at Baccarat. The next show that I come on, I'm going to give you information also. Saturday morning when I come on at 9 o'clock, I'm going to have a special guest. So I want you to come and listen to the special guest. And if you have questions to ask, that will be fine to ask. But I'm going to have a special guest on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. All right? It won't be Robert Live Tonight because it's in the morning. But come and watch me Saturday morning. You will see me on Saturday morning here. So this is Robert Conley on Robert Live Tonight on NGSC Sports. Robert Live Tonight is sponsored by Arena Eats. Log on to the website arenaeats.app for the ultimate fan experience at your favorite sports venue. Arena Eats mobile app, pre-order, express pickup, and in-seat delivery. How do you place your order? So as I am playing for you with your virtual clubhouse, the value goes up. Nobody else that I know of is doing this. Nobody else has my system except for a couple of people that I've taught. When I walk in, people believe I'm a professional because I have a book. I have my ink pens. I sit down and play, and I double my money, and I get up and walk away. Here's a little story. 3 years ago, I was in Vegas, and I worked my way up. I started with $100 that morning, and I played in the casino where I was at, the Gold Coast. I played there, and I doubled the 100. and I stayed for a little while longer, and I doubled to 200. I went from 100 to 400 before I left the casino. I left that casino. I went to another casino, and now I got up to $800. Okay, and I got up to $800. And then I went to the strip where the bets are higher. They take your money. You got to be more careful on the strip than out in the suburban casinos, in the casinos that are away from the strip. So now I'm up to $800. I walk into Planet Hollywood and I want to double. And I sat down and I win the first bet. And $800, that was 7 times $280. I win the first bet, $280. And then I bet $560 and I lost. I lost the $560 bet. But in essence, I really lost $280. Okay, so I wanted to get that $280 back. So I went into the high limit room and I played there by myself. I got the $280 back plus, and I gave Diller a $50 tip. And I sat down at the table. This guy was sitting beside me smoking. He got up and moved over so that the smoke wouldn't bother me. And then a lady came in and sat down beside me. I was already sitting back from the table a little bit because of the smoke. And I marked my book down and I put my bet out there and it tied. So I didn't win. So I pulled my bet back, wait for a while longer. And then I came to a spot where I could make my bet. So I put my bet out there of $280 and I won. And she turned around and looked at me. She said, "I'd like to know your system." I said, "Okay, well, I can teach you." She said, "You live here?" I said, "No." I said, "But I'll be here for a little while." I said, Here, I'll give you my number." She said, "No, I'll see you in here." I said, "Okay, fine." So then I'm going to double up with a $560 bet. So I put my $560 out there and it tied again. And I dragged my money back. And she looked at me. She said, "You sure are doing a lot of writing, but I guess if you want to win, you got to do your homework." I said, "Yes." She says, "Okay." So then I waited a little while longer. I put my $560 out there and I won. So I give the dealer my chips. They color these up so I can go to the cage and get my money. Dealer colored them up and I'm walking away. As I'm walking away, I hear her say, "See, that's a professional. He make his money and he leaves. He make his money and he leaves." And she's talking to these other players. She said, "How long have you been sitting here today trying to make the money?" And he wins 2 bets and he leaves. He made his money. Double cash daily. Double cash daily. Okay. So I'll be back on Saturday morning. And then possibly I'll be back on Sunday night, if not Sunday night, because I may be driving back from Pittsburgh if I don't leave there early. So come on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock because I'm going to have a special guest on. And she's going to give you some information that can help you. All right, Saturday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. This is Double Cash Daily on NGSE Sports on the Robert Live Tonight show. I hope you have a good night. If you want to get involved and get a free clubhouse, get a free virtual clubhouse where I play for your members to win money for you, send me a message because there's only 26 left out of 40. There's only 26 left. So if you want one, send me information, send me a message, and I'll send you information. This is Robert Conley, Double Cash Daily for Mansion Club on NGSE Sports. I'm gone, y'all.